The boys already revealed the saddest truth about Sister Sage, and almost nobody noticed because the show hides it underneath her confidence. Everybody sees Sage as untouchable, calm, calculated, always 10 steps ahead of everyone else in the room. Whenever she speaks, people stop talking. Whenever she predicts something, it happens. The show constantly frames her like a chess master, manipulating pieces that cannot even comprehend the game she is playing. But wait, I never noticed this before. Sister Sage never actually looks happy after winning. Not once. And that tiny detail completely changes the way her entire character should be understood. Because the smartest person alive is not powerful in the way most people imagine. She is trapped. The moment Sage enters the boys, the series immediately separates her from everyone else emotionally. Even Homelander, arguably the most terrifying person on Earth, treats her differently. Not as a servant, not as an equal, almost like a tool he does not fully understand but desperately needs. That relationship alone exposes the tragedy surrounding Sage's intelligence. People do not see her as human anymore. They see her as functional. A better way of explaining Sister Sage is this. Her intelligence has completely destroyed her ability to participate in normal human life emotionally. Every conversation she has feels detached because her brain processes outcomes faster than people process feelings. While others experience fear, excitement, hope, or confusion naturally, Sage immediately sees patterns, consequences, motivations, and probable endings. She cannot simply exist inside a moment because her mind automatically dissects the moment before it even finishes happening. And that is horrifying when you really think about it. Imagine walking into every room already understanding how people will disappoint you. Imagine hearing every lie before it is spoken. Imagine seeing every manipulation while pretending not to notice it. That is not power. That is isolation. The show quietly reinforces this through Sage's body language, constantly. She rarely reacts emotionally in real time. Instead, she watches people, studies them. Even during chaotic situations, she looks bored more than stressed. At first, that confidence feels intimidating. But the deeper meaning is much sadder. Nothing surprises her anymore. And surprise is deeply connected to joy. This explains why Sage appears almost emotionally numb throughout large parts of the season. Intelligence at her level becomes psychologically corrosive because it removes uncertainty from human interaction. Most relationships survive because people believe in emotional spontaneity, but Sage sees the mechanics underneath behavior too clearly. She knows why people lie, why they panic, why they seek power, why they betray each other. Eventually, that level of awareness starts killing emotional authenticity itself. The terrifying part is that the show subtly hints Sage may actually resent humanity because of this. Not in a loud supervillain way. In a tired way. A disappointed way. There is a scene where she speaks about people almost like predictable biological systems instead of individuals. The moment passes quickly, but it exposes something massive about her worldview. Sage does not really believe humans evolve emotionally. She believes they repeat cycles endlessly. Violence, fear, tribalism, corruption, ego, again and again forever. And honestly, from her perspective, she might not be wrong. That is why her relationship with Homelander becomes so psychologically fascinating. Most characters fear him physically. Sage fears him intellectually. She understands exactly how unstable he is, exactly how dangerous his emotional insecurity makes him, and exactly how catastrophic his need for validation could become. But instead of openly resisting him, she chooses proximity. Why? Because Sage already knows isolation is worse. That may be the darkest part of her character. She would rather sit beside a monster who understands her usefulness than live completely disconnected from human purpose altogether. The show also quietly suggests Sage's intelligence has destroyed her ability to trust morality itself. Other characters still believe in heroes, justice, revenge, or ideology emotionally. Sage operates differently. She sees systems instead of ideals. Every institution looks corruptible to her because she understands how humans behave under pressure. Governments collapse into control. Corporations collapse into greed. Heroes collapse into ego. And when someone becomes smart enough to predict corruption everywhere, morality itself starts feeling naive. That explains why Sage rarely sounds emotionally passionate, even during major moments. She sounds analytical because she already sees the endpoint of most human behavior before it arrives. The tragedy is not that she lacks emotions. The tragedy is that her intelligence constantly overrides them. A better way of understanding Sage's loneliness is to realize she cannot genuinely relate to almost anyone around her. Conversation becomes performance. Relationships become strategic. Emotional connection becomes temporary. Because eventually everyone disappoints the level of understanding she requires internally. That is why she feels so calm while manipulating people. Not because manipulation excites her, because it is easier than hoping for sincerity. And the boys quietly reveals this through one heartbreaking detail repeated throughout the season. Sage spends more time observing humanity than participating in it. She watches screens, watches reactions, watches interviews, watches political movements, watches Homelander, watches the world, but rarely engages emotionally with it directly, like someone studying a species instead of belonging to it. That is not confidence. That is alienation. The saddest truth about Sister Sage is that intelligence did not free her from human suffering. It intensified it. Because she sees every contradiction clearly, every weakness clearly, every fake performance clearly. Most people survive emotionally through denial, hope, or selective blindness. Sage does not have that luxury anymore. Her mind destroys illusion automatically, and human beings need illusion to stay emotionally stable. The series also quietly hints that Sage may already know her own ending, not literally predicting the future like a psychic, but understanding probability deeply enough to recognize where all of this eventually leads. Empires collapse, powerful people self-destruct, systems consume themselves, Homelander spirals further into instability, violence escalates. Sage likely sees all of it coming, and that may explain why she rarely reacts with panic. You do not panic over disasters you accepted long ago. The most haunting part of her character is that beneath all the intelligence, manipulation, and emotional distance, there are tiny moments where exhaustion breaks through. Small pauses, brief expressions, seconds where she looks less like the smartest person alive and more like someone profoundly tired of understanding everything too clearly. And suddenly her entire character becomes tragic. Because Sister Sage is not just cursed with intelligence, she is cursed with awareness. Awareness of how broken people are. Awareness of how repetitive violence becomes. Awareness that power almost always corrupts emotionally weak people. Awareness that nobody around her truly understands the weight of what she sees every second. That is why she can never truly be free. Not because someone is physically controlling her, but because her own mind never stops. The smartest person alive is trapped inside endless understanding. And eventually, understanding everything becomes its own kind of prison.